Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It's me Golding and today I will be revealing the map to my dragon puppet world. So this map has taken me a while to put together. I probably spent around 10 hours working on it, not all at once obviously over the course of a few days, but I did take a lot of time and put a lot of effort into figuring out where I wanted things to go and also naming places. You would think it was easy, but until you go into trying to figure out a name that also doesn't have a weird other meaning to it is a challenge. Before I get into it, I'd also like to add that this world is called Terida, and it is an archipelago of islands. There are several different ecosystems that are included on these islands, such as a frozen tundra, mountains, tropical oases, forests, and deserts. And there are also some other more interesting kind of ecosystems there too, but I won't get too in-depth in this video, but I hope you guys enjoy, and I will get started. The first area of the map that I will be talking about is Montoli. Montoli is situated in the middle of the map and is comprised of several smaller islands, including Mintoli, Minty, Monty, and Toli. I know that sounds a bit strange, but that kind of naming is a common theme throughout the rest of the map. Montoli is home to Starcatcher, King Midas, and Carney. King Midas lives in the castle surrounded by the capital city. Starcatcher lived in one of the smaller villages near the southern part of the island before making her way to the castle, where she unfortunately met her demise. Carney used to travel around Montoli with an entertainment group, but now is the head jester in King Midas's castle. I haven't written any of their backstories down, so that might change, but that's the fundamental idea. Next up is Printhia. Printhia is located just southeast of Montoli and has a few smaller islands, including Little Printh. Like Montoli, Printhia has a castle and a similar geographical landscape. Currently, none of my puppets live there, but this is the rival empire that King Midas wants to destroy. Next is Foria. Foria is a heavily forested island and is the second largest in the archipelago. Near the southernmost tip of the island, it begins to become dry and hot, leading into a desert. Dreet is located just a channel away from Foria, and it is believed that they were once one island. Foria is home to Huckleberry, who lives in a secluded area just along a riverbank. Kit also lives in Foria, in one of the desert villages along the coast. Bionia is situated in the most tropical area of the map and is host to a large active volcano. The many surrounding islands make up the Bionia chain, with several of them being inhabited. Bionia is also home to the tribes of lava-eating chicken dragons and lightning dragons. Chicken, Bolt, and Ollie all live in this area, with Ollie and the other sea dragons living in islands on the Bionia chain. Tumbria and Timbria are the southernmost islands in Terida. Both are heavily forested and quite populated. Nebula and her family used to live in a small village in Timbria, but since then Nebula has found herself in Foria, not far from Huckleberry's cabin. For those of you who don't know, Nebula and Nyx, her owl friend, had their souls merged together, and so far I haven't given that too much thought or written any of it down, but how it would kind of happen is that Nebula was practicing her magic and Nyx happened to be in the area at the time, and something happened where Nebula couldn't control her magic anymore, and it kind of just exploded into this big shockwave of magic, and in doing so, Nebula and Nyx's souls kind of came out, merged, and went back into their bodies, and that's why they're both kind of just stuck together, because they're connected by their souls. Another idea that I have, because of where Nebula used to live in Timbria, she wouldn't really be able to travel all the way to Foria, in my mind, through oceans and deserts by herself, even with an owl to guide her. So I also am considering that magic might have even transported her to Foria, and that's how she meets Huckleberry sooner rather than later. But anyway, those are just some of my ideas for Nebula. Getting back on track, the other two islands in the south are Frosta and Frista, a snow-covered region that is surprisingly populated. There is a large evergreen forest, and the landscape is quite similar to Tumbria and Timbria. I do not have any dragons currently living in Frosta or Frista, but I probably will have some puppets coming from there in the future. Umbrina is another island very similar to Mintoli and Printhia, and like those two islands, it has very similar landscape and two smaller islands named Brina and Bin. However, even though Umbrina is very heavily populated, it doesn't actually have a monarchy system, and honestly doesn't really have much of a legal system either. It is really just kind of dragons thriving together, and it's a very harmonious place. As of right now, I don't actually have any dragons living there, but I think it'll be fun to have one that grew up in a rather healthy society. The largest island in the archipelago is home to Fervia, the Beria Mountains, and the Deadlands. Fervia is a snow-covered region and is rather colder and more tundra-like than Frosta and Frista. The Beria Mountains are a mountain range rising along the center of the island, separating the two lands. Both of these areas aren't super habited, although I will say that in Fervia along the coast, there are some minor villages. The Deadlands are a desolate land that is believed to have once been covered in an ancient forest. Now the land appears to be in an eternal sleep, except for the Garden of Decay, where it is believed that the lost souls of fallen dragons creep. Jack and October both live in the Garden of Decay, and October kind of seems to have an effect on the rest of the land. I haven't written much for her lore yet, but when I do, you'll probably see why. Next, we have one of the most speculated areas of Terida, the Pits of Gmorg. It is believed to be a crack in the very world, leading down to where all evil beings dwell. The few charted expeditions there have never returned, and it is a sense of fear for most dragons. I don't have any dragons stationed here yet, but I do think it's a really cool concept to kind of have this pit of doom in my world, and it'll just kind of add a good light versus darkness theme to the plot. The last rather normal area on the map is Minol. Minol is located just north of Foria. It's rather mountainous, with several forests surrounding the cove. So far, none of my puppets are from there, but Nebula and Huckleberry may travel through there. Finally, we have Ethra, home to the eternally powerful beings. Ethra is primarily mountains, with the largest of them being Mount Ethra, the tallest peak in Terida. At the top of Mount Ethra, it is believed to be a gateway to another world, where all the good and forgiven spirits dwell. The Gatekeeper's house is where all the ethereal beings live, including Dawn and Midnight. Many of the dragons in this world believe Ethra to be a sacred place where all the powerful beings live, and not many of them go there unless they wish to give an offering or ask something of the powerful beings living there. In the vague idea that I have as a story for this world, it would be that Nebula and Huckleberry are making their way to Ethra to see if any of the beings could somehow separate Nebula and Nyx's souls. Even though it wouldn't seem like it's an immediate necessity, I am going to try and work around that idea and see if there is something that I could kind of make it so that it is a big deal. Anyways, that'll be it for the world of Terida for now. I spent a lot of time working on this, and I actually scripted this video for once, which I normally don't do, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm really happy that I got this project done, because now I can actually look at some of my puppets and figure out their lore, and actually have a place and a setting for it that you guys will know. So that is really fun for me to have, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.